What's up everybody, this is Danny's Go, and today I am coming to you with an awesome vegan Thanksgiving recipe. Today we are making Seitan ham, and this is an awesome meat replacement for a turkey or a ham for a normal Thanksgiving, but this one actually you don't have to harm any animals in the process, and Seitan's really cool because it's kind of like wheat meat, so it's kind of like the plant-based version of meat, and actually it's about 80% protein, so it is very high protein and it does mimic meat very well. And so today we are making a pineapple maple glazed Seitan ham. So first I'm going to start by mixing all of the dry ingredients. First I have Vital Wheat gluten and nutritional yeast flakes. What I'm going to do is mix a cup and a half of Vital Wheat gluten and about a quarter cup of nutritional yeast flakes. Actually, I'm just going to do 2 cups of this. Nutritional yeast flakes. I'm going to do a little bit of paprika, about a half a teaspoon poultry seasoning, and some black pepper. So now we mix all the dry ingredients together. Seitan is like one of my favorite vegetarian plant-based things to eat. But actually you do have to be careful of it because it is like vital wheat gluten. So if you don't have a lot of other fibrous sources in your diet, sometimes it does stop you up a little bit. So be careful with eating a ton of Seitan. I thought that it was just like the protein wonder of the world, and was eating it for 6 meals a day, and that's not good. So diversify your protein sources if you are vegetarian or vegan, but Seitan is a great option for a high protein source. So now we're gonna mix all the wet ingredients together. Before we mix the wet and the dry together, we're gonna use beet juice, we're gonna use pineapple juice. I found pineapple and coconut. I feel like that's pretty awesome, so I got that one. And we're gonna use soy sauce and a little bit of maple syrup. First we have a half a cup of beet juice. Never used this stuff before. It's very beety. A quarter cup of pineapple juice. A tablespoon of soy sauce, and I actually have coconut aminos. And some maple syrup. Tablespoon of maple syrup. So now that the wet ingredients are together and the dry ingredients are together, what we're gonna do is make a little bit of a well in the middle of our dry ingredients, because that's where we're gonna pour the wet ingredients into. And this is gonna form kind of a dough. And what's really cool about Seitan is if it comes out too runny, you can actually add more vital wheat gluten or more yeast flakes, and if it comes out too thick and too doughy, you can actually add more of the wet ingredients. So it's kind of cool, you can kind of play with it, and I like recipes like that personally because I really am not a huge fan of measuring things. I kind of just go by how it looks and how it feels, and so I personally like recipes like that anyway. And you'll notice if I cook, I kind of just add stuff as I want and as I please, and I encourage you to do the same because it makes cooking a lot more fun and a lot less strict and regimented. I find it easier to use my hands at this point. You want your dough to be a little bit on the wet side, so as you're baking your dough, make sure that it's a little bit more wet than you would think that it would be. So I would encourage you to add a little bit more beet juice or pineapple juice. I actually added a little bit more of both, just to make it a little bit more on the wet side. And the next step is that we're gonna wrap it tightly in tin foil and put it into the pressure cooker to steam it for probably about 25 minutes. And if you have a typical steamer, you want to go for about 45 minutes, but because we have a pressure cooker, we're going to cut that in half and go for about 25. We're going to wrap this in tin foil and put it in the steamer. It says wrap tightly in tin foil and place in the steamer. So like I said, we are using a pressure cooker. So we're going to put this just right in here like this. A little bit of water, because pressure cookers need a little bit of water, and a little bit of mushroom gravy for some awesome taste. So what we're going to do is let this steam for about 25 minutes, and then we're going to take it out and put our awesome glaze on it and put it in the oven. Okay, now it's time to make the Seitan ham glaze. So first thing we're gonna do is start off with a quarter cup of melted coconut oil. So as soon as I get all the ingredients in here, I'm actually gonna heat this up a little bit, stir it around, and then pour it on top of the Seitan ham. So we got the coconut oil in there. Now next up is going to be mustard. I know it sounds gross, but it's gonna give it a nice sweet and tangy flavor. A tablespoon of whole grain mustard, or to me, a big clove. I don't really like to measure things. It's not as fun. I feel like measuring things a little bit takes the fun out of cooking. I like to know a little bit like how much I need, about a roundabout, and then I kind of like to add and taste test myself. That's why sometimes I'm a little bit hesitant on doing cooking videos, because I'm very intuitive when I cook. It's not so much a measure, a specific amount. It's more so taste and trying and putting everything together. So that's where we're at with this. So that we need about a tablespoon of this, or a big. Next up is backstrap molasses, super sweet and sugary. 1.5 teaspoons of this. 1/8 cup of pineapple juice. An 1/8 cup of beet juice. And the last thing is a 1/4 cup of coconut sugar. So this is gonna resemble a honey baked ham, I think. I've never made this before, and I'm super excited to try it, and I'm super excited to bring this to Thanksgiving, and I know it's gonna blow the doors off of any kind of turkey or ham that anyone else can make, because it's guilt-free and karma-free. In fact, it's probably better karma, because you're saving things. And I know it's gonna taste awesome, because we have some sweet, we have some savory, we have some salty, we have some sugary, we have some seitan-y. I know it's just gonna be awesome. Okay guys, so I just took the seitan ham right out of the pressure cooker, and it looks like it is just about done. That was actually about a total of about 35 minutes in the pressure cooker. And so you kind of want it to be a little bit chewy, and this is what it looks like from the inside. And it's that pink color because of the beet juice, so it actually does kind of resemble ham, and kind of a well done steak kind of. So you want to do about 3 little cuts, it says. I'm actually going to try a piece of this because. All right everybody, here's our glaze. I'll heat it up. So the idea was that you really want to melt that coconut oil, and so the three cuts in here is going to help the glaze get into the seitan all nice. And so you just pour it on there like that. Make sure the whole thing gets nice and glazed. And then we're going to bake it for about 15 to 20 minutes. I'm going to move this thing around in here and make sure it gets all nice and covered. Okay, so now we're gonna pop this bad boy in the oven for about 15 minutes and let that glaze really get in there all nice and flavorful, and see how it turns out. Time to finish. So about halfway through, you wanna flip this ham over, and this is actually almost done. All right, everybody, so to me, this looks pretty much done. I'm gonna take this out. So the last little finishing touches I'm going to do to this little bad boy here is go ahead and just let this sauce that I made just sit right on top of there. And let it just simmer in the last little bit. Oh man, I can't wait to try this. Alright, let's go ahead and test this seitan. Oh my goodness, it even looks like ham. Alright everybody, so this is how the seitan ham came out. Honestly, it even looks like ham. So if you're thinking about going vegan or vegetarian, and you're worried about what meat you can eat for holidays, just know that there are some awesome creative ways that you can make plant-based stuff, mimic meat if you needed to. But this is a really delicious seitan ham recipe, and I highly recommend it for everybody. And honestly, once this is done like this, you can put it on a sandwich. So anything that you could make for leftovers for ham, you could put it on a sandwich, you could put it on a breakfast sandwich, you could put it on a pizza, or just eat it plain. No animals were harmed in the process, and I feel very good about that. Now we shall try it. Wow. Well, who needs ham? Goodness. You guys, seitan ham is the way to go.